What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel, and as always, I appreciate all the love and support. In today's video, we're going to do a little bit different. I know that usually I'm outside by the car and I go over, some of the things that we got going on with my Camaro, aka Prime. But what I want to do in this video is a little bit different. Well, I got kind of bored of my old key fob setup, so I did a little bit of research and I found this out. Let's get it rolling. Let's go. All right, you guys, so as you guys can see in the thumbnail, I have them both with me right now. Now, fortunately, I already did the install on the new key fob, but the point of this video is to kind of give you some pointers on what you should do if you want to make this swap and change over from your old key fob to the new shell that I'm going to have a link in the description for. That way you can get yours if you decide to do it. Now, before we jump into showing you the difference, just a little tip of advice from me to you. It's not as easy as people make it seem when I did a little bit of research on YouTube to see if anybody actually did the swap. Some people were just like, yeah, open the shell, take the board out of the old one, put it in the new one, put the link in for the key, and pop it back on. That is definitely not the case. Some people said I had to cut a little bit in the inside and trim and stuff like that, and to get it to work, and then I popped the shell back on, and that's how I got it. I was like, man, I don't want to be modifying anything. There's gotta be another way to get this install going. So what I did was I did a little bit of research on the actual key fob swap, and crazy thing is I came up with one comment where the guy said, if you got a little bit of patience and you use a pin popper, which I'll put a picture of it right over here. Okay, if you use one of these right here, then on the key itself where it flips up in the key fob, there's a little pin inside, which I'll show you guys right over here. Hopefully my camera can pick that up. That's the little pin that's inside the key where it's being held by. On this, it has a little bit of a groove right over here, and that little groove is where this little pin goes on top of. So when you use a pin popper and knock it through, the little pin will slide out of place, and when it does that, you'll be able to pop the key. The little pin goes in here in that little hole right there on the top. So what you want to do is when you use the pin popper, you're going to push the pin out, and once the pin comes out, what it's going to do is it's going to release the actual key. So this is what it's going to look like when it's in the key fob, and then it'll come out. And then what you want to do is swap it. Take out your old one, because that link is actually cut, that key is actually cut, this one isn't, and then you're going to put it inside the one that came with the key fob, because there's two of these. And what you're going to do is you're going to take out your old key out of the old bracket that holds it. You're going to take that bracket, put it to the side. You're going to take the new bracket, the new shell on the key fob, because that one is made for the actual shell. What you're going to do is just change this right here where it's already cut, and you're going to put that in place on there so it'll sit like that, and then you'll put it back into the actual key fob itself, so that way when you open that key fob, it'll be your key with the bracket that came with it, because the bracket that came with it is designed for that shell. It's a little bit bigger in the new shell, the new key fob. It's a little bit bigger than the old key fob. It's smaller. So if you're trying to just swap these over, that's why some people were saying that they did a little bit of trimming inside the key fob, and it was because you can't just put this in place and then expect for it to lock and unlock. It has like little grooves on it and stuff like that. It's just not going to work. The key fob is completely different inside the new one compared to the old one, and you'll see when you open it up right in here, right up top, right over here where the actual, so normally that's how it sits, right? It sits like this. So in here, it needs to be able to spin back and forth when you hit lock and unlock. The key will come up. So, but on the new one, it looks completely different inside than it does on the old one. So this is the old one. This is the one I had. I didn't have the remote start when I got my Camaro, but this is the key fob that I had, and this is the new one that I got. And I'll show you the difference between the old one and the new one. So this one here is the new one. This one here is the old one. The new one has this like little chrome little bezel right here. Even the design looks a little bit different on the front, the way it's shaped. It actually feels like a brand new, car, to be honest with you, because you're holding a different key fob. And I was still able to make it where I get to use my original key, because I put this one in this shell from my old key fob. Now all these buttons still work. on this actual key fob, it has remote start right here. So if you have remote start in your Camaro, you're going to be able to use that. I don't have remote start in my Camaro. I have it through my Viper alarm. I didn't have it from factory. This button right here doesn't do anything, but these buttons, the rest of them, they're all just fine. And what I like about it also is they click a little. Let me see if we can pick it up. Yep. I hope I'm not hitting the unlock button on the car. So you get that little clicking sound, which is cool. And, you know, you still get to keep the original key. Now, the one thing I can tell you guys is when you're getting ready to open this up, I know this is just a point of view that you can actually do this and make the swap and the change. What you want to do first is pop the battery cover over in the back. It's literally just pulling it up and then it comes off and there's the extra battery in the back. So if you ever feel like you're hitting the lock button, unlock, and it's not always registering, maybe you might need to change your battery. So that's where you want to start first. With the new key fob, it has screws on it. It has 1, 2, and then there's a third one behind this little Chevy logo right here. This doesn't come on there. I swapped it over from my original key fob and put it in this one, but there's a screw behind there too. So once you do that, this one comes off very simple, and then you'll be able to get the board from the old one back into here. And from the old one though, that one was extremely hard to remove. This one, to pop it open. To be honest with you, I kind of broke mine, but it doesn't bother me because I'm not going to be using it anyway. But it sat like this. And when I put the screwdriver in here to kind of force it to kind of open up until I got it enough to pop open, it didn't take off the bottom part right here. It didn't break it off. Some people take that one completely off, but I didn't have to. The board was able to slide out from there and it was already good to go. The biggest difference when you're making your change into the new key fob is the grooves that are inside here. This one right here has no grooves, so it'll free flow. The key will free flow when it's opening and closing. The other one has little grooves inside there. That's why you want to use the original link that comes with the other one and just put your key in here. Now, here's the tough part. This is where the pin popper comes into place, because you're going to want to pop the little pin that's in here. Well, originally it's in here. You want to pop that little pin out. Once you do that, then the key itself will slide off and you'll be able to put yours in there. Now, the only difference is the key that is in there right now is not as thick as the one that you have, your original. So when I was trying to push it into place to replace that little bracket there that holds this little link for the key that's cut, it was like I kind of had to, you know, just take my time and just knock it down a little bit, and then it got into place. I wasn't able to put the pin in, this little pin. I wasn't able to put it back into its place, but it's okay, because to be honest with you, I was trying to like pull it off and it's like near impossible. It's going to be really hard to take that key out of there that's already cut. Just be patient with it. Just, you know, knock it down slowly and it'll go into place. If you really want to try to force a pin to go in there, you can. I didn't need to do that. I'm telling you, mine, you do it for yourself. For mine, I'm okay. You know, I'll take my chances. I should be fine, to be honest with you. On mine, that's just how I'm going to do it. That thing is not coming down. I'm telling you that right now. And I'm not going to be sitting here pulling on the key fob when it's in the car. So, when it's in the ignition. So either way, I just kind of wanted to break that down for you guys. Just let you guys know, be patient. First thing you want to do is pop off the back of the battery cover. Take that off. You just put your hand on it, go like this. It'll pop right off, just like I showed you on another key fob. Once you do that, this is the tough part where a lot of people are like, oh my God, it's heartbreaking that I got to break into this key fob, my original one. But you want to, and it's sealed, to be honest with you, sealed really tight. So when you pop it off, just make sure you don't damage the board that's inside. And then, you know, remove the spring. Be careful the spring don't pop out of place and fly somewhere. Just take it off real gently. And that's it. Just swap over everything to that and you'll be good to go. And now you'll have a whole new key fob where it legit feels like I'm in a completely different car. I'll be honest with you. I feel like I'm in a newer Camaro or something like that. I know it's just a key fob, but it's just tripped out holding a newer key fob compared to the original one. So I'll leave a link in the description, you guys, for you guys to get yours. I believe it was like 12 or 13 bucks for this thing. Just be patient when you do it. You know, the point of this video is just kind of giving you my point of view of what I think about it. I love it. And, you know, just give you a couple of pointers and tips on how I got it installed. You know, everybody did it different, but I didn't want to be cutting and trimming stuff. I just literally changed the key that was cut and I put it in the bracket that it came with, and that was it. One of the things, one other tip that I want to give you guys. When you guys are getting ready to put the back cover of the new key fob back on, right? When you pop it open, originally when you pop this open, the spring is gonna be there, which makes this pop up like that. There's a spring that's doing that, right? You wanna be very patient because you wanna make sure that this button right here that you're pushing down on to release the key, you wanna make sure that that's sticking out far enough, like factory, like how it originally came, right? And then what I did was I held the key like this, and before putting the cover on, just pushing it, I started from, like if this is the front, I started from this side, from my left arm. I started from here, and I went counterclockwise twice, right? But when I went twice, it felt kind of tight doing it like that, and I was like, man, I don't know if that's gonna be good enough for it. Like, I don't want to damage the spring. So what I did was when I started turning counterclockwise, I did it one time. I know people say do it 2 times, go twice around. I did it one time and I put it back on the cover, and this is what I got. It's just fine. Some people said go counterclockwise twice, but I feel like you're putting a lot of pressure on the spring, and that's just my opinion. If you want to do yours like that, you can, but mine, I'm gonna keep it the way it is, and that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll leave the link down there in the description. I wanted to try to keep it short, but I know I talked a little bit too much. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Thumbs up definitely helps out the channel. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think. If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer, because this install will take you like 20 minutes if you know what you're doing. It took me like an hour till I figured it out. Let me know what you guys think, man. But in the meantime, between time, I appreciate you guys. Until the next video, A Dilla, bow! Prime time in the garage, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.